last few years has been rocky for Kody and I.
You and I have been acting like we weren't a married couple for most of our marriage, Janelle. Actually lived like a single woman.
I thought that's what plural marriage was about, like being independent. I decided to be my own hero, and I rescued myself, and I started doing things for myself.
This is not a good fit. Maybe this doesn't work.
Do you want the plural family still?
Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Friday, December 2nd, 2022. I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's TGIF. It's the end of the week. It's been a very busy week. I feel like it's been a busy week on this channel every day for a million months, and it never stops. But we have a new video that we're going to talk about, which is about the sister wives sort of fallout between Janelle and Kody. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of this conversation that we haven't even seen yet, but TLC can't drop any teasers about it. So I kind of felt like this section deserved its own video, and I wanted to talk with you about it because yesterday we were talking about how Kody said that he wanted Janelle to be loyal and he needed loyalty and obedience and blah, blah, blah. And then I was going back in time, and this morning I spent some time watching some old episode. I think it was 3 seasons ago. Kody and Mary went to their therapist, Nancy, in Las Vegas. And Kody was like using a lot of the same tactics on Mary, and he was like accusing Mary of having like bad relationships with unnamed family members. Like he couldn't pit her as being rude to Robyn. He couldn't pit her as being bad to Robyn's kids. So instead, he was trying to say that she has bad relationships with unnamed family members. So that had me thinking, he told Janelle yesterday in the video I talked to you about, he said to Janelle, if you are loyal to me and are nice to the people in this family, we can have this too. And I thought, well, let's just see here. Your Mary is loyal to you, and Mary is nice to Robyn and to Robyn's kids. So why doesn't Mary get that chance? I'm pretty sure that Janelle can see the writing on the wall. And if she hasn't yet, she'll notice soon that just because you say something is the way it's going to be doesn't mean it actually will be. Because Mary is doing what you're asking Janelle to do, and she doesn't get the time of day. I think that Kody presents unreasonable expectations to his wives. And the irony here is that there are people in this family that have bad relationships with Kody, and the women don't push back on that. They never say to Kody, well, why aren't you having good relationships with your sons? Why aren't you having good relationships with your children? Why aren't you nicer to your sister wives? I mean, literally, why don't they ever say that? It's always Kody blaming them, because Kody believes that he has no accountability. When you see, in the world of the patriarchy, what they say goes, and nothing they do is ever held accountable for because nobody else can tell them what to do. It's hypocritical. So let's dive into this new clip by TLC and talk a little bit about it. And then I'm going to have another video coming up about a podcast that Christine just did this morning, or that was released this morning over on Kate Casey's, in a second video today. Okay, so before we dive into this topic, can you please consider giving this video a thumbs up? Also, subscribe to my channel if you have not yet subscribed. We hit 297,000 subscribers today. Thank you so much for those of you that are helping me reach my goal of 300,000 by the end of this year. Click the bell if you want to get notifications, so every time a new video loads, you'll get notified, and make sure to leave a comment if you have something to say. So this conversation that happens between Kody and Janelle is probably a lot of time in the making, and their relationship has been very unsteady for a couple years given COVID. I actually went back and watched the episode right before COVID hit, and they were struggling immensely in the family at that point, but they were still pretending they were a united family. And I honestly think COVID was the best thing that happened to them, because they had to film themselves and they couldn't lie anymore. I mean, that's truth. That's the truth of it. Because there's like Christine saying that she's been wanting to leave since Vegas. So we might just be cued in to the situation that's been going on for probably a decade. Anyways, let's check out this new clip.
I don't really see it as much as that she's independent as that she's aloof. She kind of does her thing, I kind of do mine.
I've made decisions for myself. You cannot depend on your husband to meet all of your needs. I enjoy the independence. I don't know how it got started, but I've enjoyed it. I feel like somehow, like maybe we lost something.
So he says that she's not independent, she's just aloof. And she says that she's enjoyed the independence because you can't, like, your husband cannot meet all of your needs. Now, I just want to preface this by saying something. Like, I'm married to my husband and we are in a monogamous relationship. And I am with him every day. And I think sometimes they don't really understand that in the monogamous world, what they're going through isn't typical. Like, a lot of times they'll say that the stuff that's happening in their marriages is normal and everyone goes through it. And it's simply not true. We don't, in the monogamous world, have to deal with other women in our relationships, our men in other bedrooms with other women. We don't have to split our time. We don't have to do everything for ourselves. I mean, a lot of women, you can still be independent in your marriage, but the way that they're married, the women have to be independent because for the better part of their week, they're alone. They're not with their husband. Who's going to do all of their other stuff when their husband's with their other wife? They can't call their husband on a day that's not theirs and say, come over, honey, I need you. You know what I'm saying? So Kody's saying it's aloof, but I feel like it's a product of survival in this world where if he's not around, you have to figure out a way to get things done. And that's I guess you could look at that as good or bad, but Kody being upset by this, it's a product of their environment. Nothing more, nothing less. And I think that they both have been in a platonic marriage for years, but that's just me.
This isn't about Robyn. This isn't about our past history. They just put Robyn in the COVID crosshairs. This is really about me and Janelle, her loyalty, her lack of respect during COVID, and for my COVID rules, my desire to protect the family. That's my invitation to you, is to get to a place where you and I have that kind of loyalty. And we negotiate and we work out these things like a married couple.
It's wild to me that you don't think I have been.
Robyn was caught in the COVID crosshairs, which doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, they developed rules that likely had to do with the show. I remember an interview that Robyn made a couple years ago with Us Weekly, and she had mentioned that they have jobs that they have to keep. And TLC does have a lot of rules about filming, and for a very long time, in order to film, they probably had to make sure that people were, following protocols. I think Kody is also living with a hypochondriac, i.e. Robyn, who believes that she has some sort of illness or that her kids are going to die. Robyn likely has anxiety, and she, because of her faith, might not treat that anxiety, and I think that she worries a lot unnecessarily about her health, and she assigns things like, oh, Solomon had RSV when he was 2, and so therefore he's going to get this and be really bad, when that's just not the truth. Or her undisclosed health conditions that she never talks about, but everyone seems to allude that she has. It's just a lot of rules that were made that, whether or not they believed it was like from him or from Robyn, they were made, and they couldn't follow those rules because they had lives that were different than Kody and Robyn's. And he used it as an excuse because when it served him, he went out and did things that he wanted to do. When it didn't serve him, he didn't do things. I mean, he went to a wedding, didn't follow protocols. He didn't go to Isabel's surgery. So he wants this loyalty from Janelle, and he's inviting her to have it. And she's like, I didn't know that I wasn't being loyal. So somehow, he wasn't loyal because she wasn't doing everything that he said when she had her own household to deal with.
All I'm hearing is Robyn is perfect, Robyn is great, Robyn treats me the way I'm supposed to be treated. You need to all of a sudden be this way. We have a small team, everybody's got to conform, and then we're good. No, that's not what I signed up for.
I don't think it's unreasonable for me to expect that my wife would be loyal to me and that she would be an accountable person.
So I feel like the elephant in the room when it comes to loyalty is about Christine. He keeps bringing up COVID, but I think it has to do with Christine. Because when I literally look at the definition of loyalty, it says a strong feeling of support or allegiance. Loyalty is the quality of staying firm in your friendship or support for someone or something. He is demanding her loyalty. It's a weird thing to say, oh, your loyalty to me and not to Christine. That's what it's coming down to. He's asking her to pick a side, but he won't say it. And because Robyn has taken his side, he's demanding that she conform to that. All she's hearing is, be more like Robyn. Robyn is the perfect one. Be like Robyn and everything will be fine. And it won't be fine, because even if she were loyal, even if she were to denounce Christine, even if she were to stand by him all the time, suddenly he would have a new reason to be mad at her, because that's what he does. My question to him is, when was he loyal to Janelle? She's not had housing for how long, and why isn't he helping her? When Robyn needed a house, he was like, come hell or high water, he was going to find that housing for her. When it comes to Janelle, he's never there. Where's the loyalty? You can't demand loyalty from someone that you've neglected and abandoned. And loyalty is not granted or expected. You have to earn. You have to show and prove to someone that they deserve to be, they deserve that loyalty. Just because they're married to you, and I say this figuratively because they're not married, doesn't mean she has to be loyal. And he wants her to pick a side, and they're not saying it. It's so obvious to me. At least that's my opinion.
And maybe maybe this is not a good fit. Maybe this doesn't work.
It feels like the rules have changed for me a little bit.
The rules have changed.
Like, yeah, all of a sudden, I guess, yeah, I don't know. You always acted like I was a good wife. We were great. I was making my own decisions, and we would come together, and it felt like you were okay with that.
So it was a couple episodes ago that Kody said that Janelle having empathy for Christine was like a betrayal. And you would say that a betrayal would happen when someone's not being loyal. So he said that he didn't understand why she wasn't being empathetic to him. And he also said in another clip they released that he can't tell her that he's brokenhearted and he needs her to help him through that. Kody just doesn't want to outright say to her on camera, you need to disavow Christine or else maybe we're not a good fit. He's basically saying, ditch Christine or we're breaking up. And then he's in the other clip that said I'm not trying to break up with her. You're giving her an ultimatum. You're demanding her loyalty. And Janelle is confused because he's beating around the bush and he's not speaking directly about the situation. He's not telling her it's about Christine because I'm sure he doesn't want to look like the pompous a-hole that he is. But a couple episodes ago, he flat out said that he felt betrayed by her and her disloyalty for siding with Christine. So this has to be about Christine. What else would there to be loyalty be about? Janelle is just trying to figure things out. And she's like, I feel like things are you changing things. Everything's changed. We always would come to agreements on things. We would always make decisions, or I would make a decision and then we would talk about it and come together on it. And he just keeps changing the goalposts. He just won't say it, and his lack of ability to communicate is ridiculous. And Janelle she looks really sad, despondent, and almost what am I doing here? Maybe this actual conversation is a wake-up call for her. Who knows?
It feels like we're unraveling.
I never thought that I would ever be in a place where I would be questioning my relationship. But the last few years, I've begun to wonder if we're compatible anymore. Maybe this doesn't work anymore for me. I don't know.
Kody is so selfish in the situation involving Christine that he's forgetting that he might be hurting, but so is everyone else in the family. And he's said to the kids not to take sides. He's said nobody should take sides, but he wants her to take sides. And again, he's not saying that outright, but that's what he's talking about. Why else would he need her to be loyalty? In what other capacity has she not been loyal? You're not loyal to protocols. That's no. You either follow them or you don't. But loyalty to a protocol, what? You can follow them, you can agree with them, but loyalty to a thing, I don't know. No. A concept, I'm sure, but no. It's loyalty to him and not Christine. And it's making her question their relationship. He says they are unraveling, and she said that she never would have thought that she would have questioned her relationship anymore, but she doesn't maybe think they're compatible anymore. And maybe it doesn't work for her anymore. And that is something that if you push someone you've already mistreated horribly for years, you've yelled at her about her kids, you've severed ties with her sons, you treat her children like crap to the extent that the boys want nothing to do with you. And you've forced them to say, now you must come with me when my kids are over here. My kids don't want to be around you. He wants her to not pick her kids, not pick Christine, not pick anything in her life that actually she's around more often than not, and pick someone that's around every fourth day. That's not fair. He's demanding things of her that he would never do for her. If the tables were turned, he would never do the same. If she said, stop being with Robyn all the time, or stop taking Robyn's side all the time, that's not loyal to me, he would never do it. He would never do what he is asking her to do. And he doesn't have to, because he's the patriarch. So she's saying, well, maybe we're not compatible anymore. Maybe we're not a good fit. I hope this actually means she's going to leave, but I don't know. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.